Hey y'all, this is Kim with Creative Escapades. If this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm so excited that you joined me today, and I'm excited to show you what I'm going to be making. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the video. So today we're working on a fun project. This is a 20-ounce HOGG storyboard, and I'm taking the bottom of it off. Gonna pull the plastic cover off, and we'll store that back in the box. And I'm going to give the stainless steel part a light sand, and then clean it with some warm water and Dawn dish liquid soap. And then I'm going to tape off the areas that I don't want to get any spray paint on, because I'm going to put a base coat of spray paint. I'm doing a beach theme, so I'm going to be using several colors, and I'm taping another layer on the inside just to make sure that I don't get any overspray down inside there when I'm spraying. So I used a tan, a little bit of white, several different shades of blue, and then a little bit more white at the top for the base coat. And now we're ready to put our colored resin on there and get this going. So we're going to get it going in the right direction. And I've already mixed up my resin. I'm using Faux Rizzle, which is a 1-to-1 ratio, and I mixed up a couple of ounces and then poured them into separate cups to color them. And this first one here is colored with Marabou vanilla alcohol inks, and I'm just using my stir stick to get it put on there. I'm not trying to make it straight because it's supposed to represent the sand or the sand line. And next I'm using the Resin Art Luster Pigment Caribbean Sea, and I'm just going to use my stir stick again. I'm not trying to get it right up against the other colors because I'm going to use my heat gun, and that's going to let these flow into each other. And then the next color is Pearl X Duo Blue Green. And then I have Resin Art Luster Pigment Seafoam. And then the next blue is Baja Alcohol Ink mixed with a little bit of rainbow. And then I have the Diamond Dust Mica at the top. And then I used my heat gun to try to blend those colors together, and I had a little bit of diamond dust left, so I'm just using my stir stick to try to get like a little wave appearance. And then I'm going to let this turn overnight, and then we'll be ready to put our decals on. So it's all done. I have got my decals cut out. I used the holographic turquoise for the dolphins, and then I used a teal green for the quote. So I'm going to just take the dolphins off of the backer paper, and sometimes you have to use your little scrub there and make sure that it's stuck down good to your tape. And then I'm going to just put it on here. I'm going to try to get the center down first and work my way out on one side and then work down on the other. The whole idea is to make sure that your vinyl is flat against the surface of your cup, and that there's no way that there's little air bubbles under it that would allow your top coat of resin to get under there and lift your vinyl away from the surface of the cup. because that's a bummer. And we don't want bummers. So now I'm going to turn it around to the back side and do the quote. And when you're working with letters, especially if it has like a little, the dot for the I or something like that, got to make extra sure that you get those put on really good, because when you pull the tape up, they're so small that it could come up with the transfer tape, like right here. And that's why I was telling you that, because I had to make sure that that little dot stayed where it was supposed to. And then just check all your letters, make sure that they're all flat. If they're not, you can move them around and lift them and then reapply them. And then I use a little bit of heat to warm up the adhesive on the vinyl so that it will help it to adhere better to the surface of the tumbler. And then I let this just set for a couple hours before I add the top layer of resin. And then we'll be ready for the fun part. So it has had its coat of resin. It's been 24 hours. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put resin in this little well right here that is the lip of the cup, so that we can reattach the plastic or the acrylic over cup. But first I want to take off the tape on the bottom. Get that all off of there. And it was a little bit rough just right here where I had some overlap of the resin, so I'm just trimming it down. Alright, so now we are ready. And what I've done is I've mixed up my resin and I added a little bit of the white macro pearl, just to kind of blend in with that diamond dust at the top. And I just mixed up about 5 mils of this resin, and I'm going to pour it in. I tried using the stick, but it's just easier to pour it into the well of the lip right here. And once I get it all in there, I'm going to use my heat gun to warm that up down in there to make it real thin. And then I'll keep turning the cup around so that I make sure that everywhere in that well where the plastic is going to go there's resin, so that it will seal it. And then you just put the little plastic over cup on and then push down on it until you feel it pop into place. And then I'm going to put the bottom back on the cup so that it will also add additional pressure to that, and then I'm going to let it set for 72 hours before I do anything else to it. So here we are 3 days later, and we're ready for our glitter, and I'm so excited. So the glitter that I'm going to be using is called Sea Life, and it is a holographic glitter in shapes of dolphins, turtles, some starfish, and some circles. And it's from Glitter Designs by 2. And we're going to take the bottom off and put that in there. And then we're going to add this glycerin mixed with the water, and it's a 50-50 or 1-to-1 ratio. And we will measure it exactly so that we make sure that it is just the right consistency that we need. So I'm using this little medicine cup, and I always mark my cups because I can just see better where my marking is. So I'm filling it up with water. We're going to go 1 and then 2 waters and 2 glycerins, and then if we need more, we'll mix up some more. Then I'm not sure how much I'll actually need. When you first mix your glycerin into your water, it turns it a little bit cloudy. But after you stir it and mix it in really good, then it turns clear again, and you do not have to worry about it getting cloudy inside your tumbler either. It will stay clear. So, and I'm also making sure that I don't have any of the glycerin where I can get it on my hands or onto the tumbler, because I don't want to get this anywhere that I'm going to apply epoxy, because it will not allow the epoxy to seal if you do. So just going to mix this up really good, and right there, it's all nice and clear again. So I was thinking about adding some of this blue chunky glitter, but I think I'm going to forego that and just stick with the holographic shapes. Alright, so we're going to take the bottom of the cup off, and checking that on the top, and it is very tight, so I know that the resin worked. I want to tape off the bottom of this because I don't want any of my glitter to get down in that hole right there. And just use a little bit of electric tape, and then I'm going to pour my glitter into this little medicine cup. It's just easier to handle for me. And I want to put enough glitter that it covers at least about a third of the inside of the tumbler. And so I'm just going to tilt the cup, pour some of the glitter in, and then just work it down into the sides by moving it around. Just like that. I got a wayward dolphin there. This is some beautiful glitter though. If you like to work with shaped glitters, this is perfect for any kind of beach theme, whatever you do. And it's just falling down in there so nicely. And making sure that I get it all around the cup. You can see it down there. And I dumped some on my mat, trying to clean it up. Alright, we're getting close. I think a little bit more. Thinking about that blue again, and it just didn't seem to go, so I didn't use it. Alright, so now we're going to add the glycerin and water mixture, and I'm very carefully tilting my tumbler and my cup so that it goes in at an angle and does not get onto the rim of the plastic. Checking to make sure that I don't have any leaks. Everything is looking good. No leaks whatsoever. Perfect. Alright, we're going to finish adding the water and glycerin mixture. Just slowly add it till it fills up. And I will tell you that the next time I do one of these, I'm going to add more water than I did in this one. This one I brought it up over the edge of the cup. You'll see here it's almost full, and I brought it to where it would cover all the way to the bottom of that center piece there that has the threads on it. But next time I'm going to bring it higher because doesn't look like there's a lot of air space there, but there is when you turn the cup over, and you'll see that in a minute. So I'm just carefully adding the glycerin in because I don't want to get it on any of the edges where I'm going to be applying epoxy for sealing it. And by the way, that was the pretty good amount figuring out how much to put in there. Like I said, if I had known I was going to have that much air, I probably would have added another half a cup of water and half a cup of glycerin just to bring it up further. Okay, so I've mixed up my resin, and I've got about 5 milliliters here, and I've let it set until the potting time is almost done. And in other words, I've just got just a very few minutes to work with this now before it sets. And I'm going to put it on the inside of this centerpiece where those little rungs are, that is going to tighten it onto the cup. I'm going to fill up this little well right here. Make sure the threads are all covered. I don't care if it's extra in there, more than I need. It's okay. That part can squish down and out on the inside of the cup, and I'm all right with that. And then there's a little well right here where the plastic goes into, and I'm going to make sure that I get that good and sealed as well, because I want to make sure that there's no way that any of that liquid can come out. So I wiped off the edge of the top of the cup there, and now I'm adding some additional resin to the post in the center, and then I'm adding some to just the very top edge of this plastic. I'm not putting it on the sides. I don't want it on the sides because then it could squeeze out when I tighten it and then get all over the outside of the plastic coating, and I don't want to do that. So I'm very slowly putting this bottom part back on. I'll make sure that I get it on the threads just right. And then I'm going to keep hand tightening this until I can't turn it anymore. And I'm going slow because I don't want to slosh that glycerin around and let it get on the resin, because then it will not allow it to seal. It won't cure properly. And I've got it just about as tight as I can go right there. Now what next I'm going to do is I'm checking it to make sure there's no resin on the outside, and there wasn't. It was good. And then I'm going to set this aside. You can see the glitter right there. I'm going to let it set for 72 hours, and I'm not going to touch it because I want to make sure that that resin cures and it doesn't allow anything to have a place to leak. Okay, guys, this is it. It has been 72 hours, 3 days, and we're ready to check it out. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn it around and shake it to shake up that glitter and see if I have any leaking at the bottom, which I don't. So it's a go. So this is my very first storyboard tumbler, and I just love it. I think it's so cool. So now I want to do a test on it. This is a single wall tumbler. I'm going to put some ice in it and see how long it will take for the ice to melt, and then I'm going to put some ice and water in there and test it that way also. So you can use it for hot drinks, which I did not do a hot drink test, but here it is, all finished. I put ice in it at 9:30 in the morning, and the ice was completely melted by 1 o'clock. With the drink, with the water in it, it was about the same. So this is not the type tumbler that will have ice in it for 24 hours or anything like that, but it is an adorable little cup. It will keep your drink cold for several hours, and it's a fun cup, and I love it. And I'm working on another one that is a nurse theme, and I can't wait to show you it because it is something special. And these are fun to make, and like I told you before, I would use a little bit more water because you can see where my water line is of the mixture of glycerin, as opposed to it going all the way up to the top and maybe just have a smaller area. But I still love it. I think it turned out great. I love the colors. I love the sparkle. And it is just cute as it can be. And it takes a little while for all the glitter to fall to the bottom. If you let it set, it will pretty much disappear except for just a small line down at the very base till you turn it over. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please click like and share. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you can do that now. Ring that bell. You'll get notified when I upload future videos. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below. I love your feedback, and I hope to see you in my next creative escapade. Bye bye for now.